I ruined my bus life.
A few years ago, I worked for a couple of months in a pastry shop.
To work there, my boss promised me 8 hours a day except Monday's half day and Thursdays closed and €700 a month, obviously all of the books.
Although I had some resentment about working illegally, I accepted anyway because I needed some money.
The first day of work, I was in there for 11 hours, from 5:30 am to 1:30 pm, and then from pm to pm. I thought it was normal since it was my first day, even if in reality some doubts came to me right away, because all the others had been there as much as me, and for them it was certainly not the first day.
The situation continued to be this, hours ranging from 10 to sometimes 13 hours a day. Furthermore, for 2 weeks in a row, on Monday, the day on which we were only supposed to work in the morning, we instead worked with the schedules of the other days.
At the end of the month, I asked for my well-deserved salary, and my boss got angry telling me that I was only thinking about money when in reality, I hadn't even asked him to pay me for the multiple hours of overtime.
He then told me that he would pay everyone at the end of the first week of the following month.
The following day, after working as usual for 11 hours, at the end of the shift, he called me aside telling me that since I had been presumptuous, I had to show up for work on Thursday, even though it was my day off. Obviously, I got angry and replied that I had worked much longer hours than those agreed and that I would not show up for work on my day off. And so I did.
Thursday came and I didn't show up, ignoring hundreds of calls from my boss and his wife.
The next day,
I showed up for work regularly and was severely reprimanded and then sent home for bad behavior. He told me that we would meet on Sunday to give me the money, and then I didn't have to show up again, which I already wanted to do. So Sunday arrived and showed up with €300, telling me that I had done little this month and that I hadn't been respectful towards him and his business.
I got very angry and also went to call my father, who was waiting for me in the car. The two almost came to blows.
So I took my father and we left, saying it wasn't over there. I kept in touch with some of my colleagues, some even over 18, with whom I had established a good relationship and who also worked illegally.
They told me that, the next day, he had badmouthed me, saying that I was a person without any form of respect and dignity. In Italy, we say una cosa inutile.
They had witnessed the scene the previous Friday and were speechless. They thought I had to do something and not let me walk on my head like this.
And they were right. So I decided to do something that no one has ever had the courage or the will to do, or rather go to finance to denounce the fact that he made most of his employees work illegally and that he exploited them by underpaying them.
Obviously not alone, but with my colleagues also tired of being exploited to support me.
So we decided on a day and time for a pop check and waited. The agreed day was Saturday morning from 9 to 10, the day and time when there was usually more workload. It goes without saying that, contrary to what is thought of in Italy, sometimes justice works, and that day finance with a surprise check discovered the whole situation and immediately closed the business. Subsequently, the owner as well as my former boss was investigated and sentenced to I don't remember how many years in prison. The business was seized and now his family is having to pay more than €1 million in tax evasion for other reasons related to false receipts and other things that I don't quite understand.